Do you wonder if the current crisis in Russia and Europe is actually affecting or having an impact on our real estate market? We're going to be discussing this today. But first, show reel, hit it. If you're new to my channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It only takes 1 second and it really helps with my YouTube algorithm. And also the notification button so I can share some great videos like this with you in the future. And I don't want you to miss anything. So without further ado, let's get started. So the Russian-Ukrainian conflict. It's a very sad ordeal. It's a big crisis in this world. How in the world is it affecting our real estate market here in Toronto in the GTA? This is what we're going to discuss today. Recently, a senior director at BMO Capital Markets actually examined this very question. The magnitude of the conflict and its influence on the economy, both inflation rates as well as interest rates, are all factors we need to really think about. So as it currently stands, unfortunately, this war is having a direct impact on our rate of inflation, increasing the rate outlook. In other words, we shouldn't actually see a direct impact on mortgage rates per se, but and in this regard, what I'm saying is, for instance, just over a week ago, the Bank of Canada indicated that it doesn't regard this particular conflict as a target for the tightening of interest rates. Now, with this, the Bank of Canada also went on to say that they intend to stick to as normal a trend as possible for this year, 2022. Although the Bank of Canada has also stated that wars and the uncertainty that comes with war also requires a very careful approach. In fact, prior to this current crisis, the central banks were actually on track to really try and control this ultra high rate of inflation by raising interest rates. That's how they were going to do that. So as Ukraine is a wheat producer, to give you one example, there's a global food shortage because they're not able to produce this year. So the fact that we're already seeing wheat prices rise by 15% this past month, that's indicative of what we're going to see in the global food markets. So with a short food supply, it drives prices up naturally. So higher food prices are one of the biggest reasons that drives inflation, the multi-decade highs that we're seeing lately. And indirectly, we're going to see some increases in other foods as well, like cereals, for instance. I'll give you one example. If this crisis continues, it will continue to cripple the financial markets. Another direct impact that we can see is that the war can actually increase the volatility of our global equity markets. Now, the recent volatility that we've seen can work in both directions relative to the real estate market. So, for instance, on the one hand, the discretionary home buyers that we know are in the market, like second home purchasers or vacation or investment property purchasers, they don't like uncertainty of any kind, is what we tend to see in these types of buyers. These buyers may adopt a wait and see type of approach on any prospective purchases. And this can actually remove that particular layer in the local market. That's on one hand. On the other hand, we can see significant decreases in stock markets, and this actually may motivate people that generally play the stock market, i.e. buyers and sellers, to move their funds to a more reliable return on their funds, i.e. the real estate market. So this could actually further strain the supply of homes for interested buyers and continue to exacerbate what we actually see, which is increases in prices, pushing those prices further up and leading to an affordability issue for home buyers. So it can be good for home sellers, but not necessarily home buyers. So some of the inflationary pressure that we have seen is being further exacerbated by the war, as I pointed out. the longevity and the depth of the conflict will actually dictate the severity of the economic influences that we will experience here in the GTA. So one thing is very clear. This war won't cause a housing market frenzy per se. We do expect prices to continue to climb. The question is, how much and at what rate? That's the big golden question. And in terms of interest, we're seeing some rate hikes. They've already started. For instance, with a 1/4 point increase recently, that is a step in somewhat of the right direction in terms of shifting the buyer and seller sentiment away from a FOMO, if you've ever heard of FOMO, fear of missing out, given the tight affordability, even at these relatively low interest rates. Even though they're going up, they're still relatively low. It really won't take much to really reduce the demand of the hot market like we've seen in Toronto. So just to summarize, it's not an expectation that the military conflict that we're seeing in Europe is likely to compel the central bank to deviate from their current plans to curb inflation. And, they are trying to stay on track as much as possible. But one thing is for sure, the path forward is anything but certain. Your guess is as good as my guess in terms of what's going to happen. How is this going to impact inflation? We'll have to see. A few facts we do know is that the average home price crept up 38% year over year in February, with the average selling price surpassing 1.3 million. This is up from just $1 million at the same time last year. Now, this is a true indicator of the fact that there's a real push and pull between the supply and demand situation. In fact, the average price for detached homes hit over 1.7 million in February. And with semis sitting at about 1.3, townhomes at about 1.1, and condos nearing 800,000, it's incredible what we're seeing now in the real estate market. So I know it seems like this conflict's a world away, but it really could have some impact on our global markets, on our real estate market here in the GTA. So just do what you can. You may have to ride that wave of unpredictability and just wait and see. Hopefully the rate of inflation won't go up too much and the housing market will cool off somewhat. That's what the expectation is, but we'll all have to wait and see how this whole situation rides out. Hopefully people are safe, people have peace in this world. That's the best scenario we can expect. So I hope you found this information helpful, and I've actually provided you with a little bit of information that can help you plan your next move in the real estate market. So until next time, this is Pamela Haines from Homesite Pam, helping you with your real estate matters.